Malema?
No, I want to explore a different direction and ask the candidate to really help us to protect the image of this institution and of all people involved in this panel. I think that having listened to them and having listened to the Chief Justice and the JP, don't you think you should, as a sign of demonstrating your commitment to protecting women and also fighting this scourge of sexual harassment and GBV, so that we don't do a lip service to it? It might have appeared at the face value as something not significant, but given the seriousness and the robustness of how the Commission is engaged with it, don't you think on a hindsight you may want to consider withdrawing and then subjecting all of these matters to relevant bodies to investigate, clear you or find you guilty, whatever way they take, so that by the time you come here, we know we're dealing with a solid and a clear candidate, because you have applied for a very senior office. And it's very important that before you assume that responsibility, you don't bring with you some unresolved dark clouds. We all have that responsibility to really protect the courts and protect the Judicial Service Commission and all members of this committee. So I'm just saying, after listening to everybody and the comments, don't you think it's the right thing to withdraw your candidature? The courts are not running. They will always be there. They've been there. Once you are cleared, you'll come back.
CJ, if I may.
Is that Honorable Lucas?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Honorable Lucas.
I want to...
do you want him to answer first, or do you want to add your questions so that he answers them both?
Yeah, let me just agree with what Commissioner Malema have said. The issue is that we don't want to rush into something if we don't have all the information. But the fact of the matter is there is a serious allegation that needs to be clarified, and it will really put a cloud over this process if we don't deal with this thing correctly. I just wanted to support what you have said. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Advocate, colleagues are saying it's not an admission of guilt for you to consider withdrawing your candidature. It's an appreciation of the seriousness of the matter, and also that it will be very difficult for the Commission to deal with this matter properly for as long as the
Yes, Chief Justice.
Issues have not been properly interrogated definitively. Yes, sir.
Yes, Chief Justice. I see the point, and that's a very point that I made at the beginning of these proceedings, is that I appreciate that this is not a court of law, so I don't have the opportunity to cross-examine or to follow that route. I also appreciate that things need to be transparent, and that prospective judges need to be placed under scrutiny and to meet the highest requirements. However, Jesus, what I also trusted what would happen, and again, I've dealt with this as clearly and as concisely as I can, and I've referred to various submissions made by the DGRU, and I had another article to say about to bring to the attention of this commission is that if this is allowed to happen, Chief Justice, it's a true indictment on the procedure, because every time a candidate comes up for consideration and there is somebody out there who has an axe to grind, can simply make initially an anonymous, this is a review by anonymous reviewers who have not What I submit should have happened, Chief Justice, is that those reviewers should have asked me for my comments then. The Audi Ultram Partram rule should have taken place then. They should have gone out and again and researched various allegations. For example, the allegation that I fumbled the cross-examination, lost the case, I've shown, and that's why the document runs, I've shown in this document that that's not true. Nowhere in the judgments is it. In fact, the case was lost because of Duplessis, his testimony, and the actions of him and others on behalf of SAMPRA prior to the matter being decided. So it allows, this is what should have happened. It should have been done properly. It should have been done according to the rules of natural justice. I'm now left, with the greatest respect, Chief Justice, trying to fend off these allegations, something that's come out of the blue 9 years later. And the really important thing is, as I've said, if this kind of system is not curtailed or put an end to, it opens up, with the greatest of respect, it opens up this commission so that this commission cannot do its crucial constitutional duty in deciding who is a suitable candidate. Because every time somebody comes up for consideration, all you need to do is have a party who has an interest, whether it's for, and I'm not going to get into conspiracy, but it's clear that I've made out a case here that this man has an axe to grind. And this is the sole reason why this has been done. And if I withdraw my candidature now, Chief Justice, then that is condoning his actions.
Chief Justice? Chief Justice?
Yes, Commissioner Murphy.
Yeah, thank you, Chief Justice. If I may, Advocate Wanless.
Yes.
I think that you make a strong and compellable argument. I certainly believe in the school of thought that says the more serious the allegation, the more Audi you need, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you are accused of a traffic offense, Audi might not be important, but if it's multiple murder, then obviously Audi is more important. I think what the commissioners are saying is that the problem with that is that I'm sure you appreciate that we don't have the tools in this commission to give you that Audi. I mean, we obviously don't, however much we would like to. We are not equipped to hear your side and hear the other side and so on right now. And therefore, and you do need or require or deserve to be vindicated if what you're saying is correct. Wouldn't it be then better to have another forum? You belong to the bar, maybe the bar to do to be given the opportunity to do the investigation, give you your necessary Audi, and then you come back at another time once the issue has been cleared. Now that and that is all that is being said. But having said all that and all the appeals that are made by the other commissioners, I think we must say this for the record, for the public record, that all those appeals are appeals for you to exercise your own judgment. There is nothing wrong whatsoever in you saying, I've heard all of you, however, I'm pursuing my application. In that case, we will then consider your application with all the others. But I think what is being done is to maybe to appeal to your own good sense, given the nature of the issue, given the fact that the scourge of gender-based violence and even an allegation or the whiff of it in the current circumstances in the country is something that should be taken seriously, because gender-based violence is probably one of the top 3 problems in this country. The others being racism and landlessness. And therefore, I think that's the context in which the appeal is being made. But nobody is forcing you or twisting your arm to withdraw. You don't have to withdraw if you don't want to.
CJ.
Is that Honorable Malema?
Yes, I want to try this for the last time.
And then that will be it.
Yes.
Yes.
CJ, our approach is very simple. You are not the first person that we have had to, advise them the way we are doing. We'll ultimately take a decision. But the CJ makes a very valid point. He says it's not an admission of guilt. You see, when you leave in the morning and there are such allegations and you are angry and you consult others and then you take a position that no, you must not retreat because it's going to be like you are guilty already, someone has written this or that. But when you come here, you come with an open mind and you get to be advised by parties that are not involved. We are not involved, we have no interest, none whatsoever. All we want to appoint a clean and clear judge. Because you can't go and sit on the bench. The next month you must go to the Judicial Conduct Commission on allegation that you came with carrying in your bag. Go and clear this thing so that you sit there with a clear conscience. Even us, we know that there's nothing that is going to come back to us with regard to your appointment. That's all we're saying. We're coming back again here in October. You missed the train again in October. We're coming back again in April next year. We're always here. Even during Corona, we're here. We're not going anywhere. So all we are asking is that the courts will always be there. You'll always be there. Please, let's subject this to some form of a process. So that when you come confidently and you say, last time I was here, I listened to my brothers and my sisters. I withdrew my candidature. And then this is the process I was engaged in. Now I'm clear. My conscience is clear. I'm sitting here knowing very well that this matter has been subjected to some process which has now cleared me. And I think I'm not coming with some baggage to the bench. That's all we're asking. Please listen to your brothers and your sisters who have no interest in this matter. We want as many judges as possible, especially for Gauteng division. To lose one candidate, it takes us back. But we cannot push forward at all costs because the people of South Africa and women in particular are going to say, we don't take these matters of gender-based violence very serious. We hear what you are saying, but as a way of showing sympathy, empathy, and solidarity with the victims, even if they are anonymous, at least let's try and find a way of saying we tried our level best and this is where we are. We are pleading, but if you don't want, it's okay, because we'll ultimately take a decision. But we didn't want to arrive there. We wanted us to have one thing. So we are together, and your commitment to the fight against gender-based violence is not doubted by anyone. We cannot doubt a judge's commitment over this pandemic called gender-based violence. So your withdrawal, in a way, it is a solidarity with the victims. You may have all those reservations, but once you subject it to a process, you are saying to South Africa, it doesn't matter how small it may be, as long as it suggests that there is some form of abuse on women. It's a matter that deserves our serious attention, and I'm withdrawing on the basis of that so that I can go and work on it and come back and continue with these interviews and your application. But if you don't want, that's fine. It's your call. I thought I must come back, CJ, for the second time and see. As brothers and sisters, we advise each other, because we come from a very difficult past, especially on issues of gender-based violence. We cannot just wish them away when they are raised. Thank you.
Thank you, Adv Malema. Advocate Wanless, see your last words.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner Malema, for that. And I understand, and it has a lot of merit to what you're saying. I just wanted to just place on record. So first of all, very briefly, is that I'm no longer a member of the bar. I'm a member of the LPC, having been under the impression that the the LPC would be the way to go, and the fact
No,
that I was
that's
acting,
fine. You
so,
can just
yeah. Yes.
substitute the BAT for the LPC.
For the LPC,
Sure.
yes, yes. I may just say, and just very briefly, and I will be brief, CJ, that the difficulty with withdrawing and coming again at a later stage, and whatever the outcome of that hearing is that these allegations that are made again for other reasons, they have a habit of sticking, and I doubt, with the greatest of respect to all the commissioners, is that when I come back, even if I come back again in October with a supposed clear bill of health, that it'll be difficult. And I understand why, because these matters are so important, and because of the way of thinking, that it'll be really difficult for me ever to have a fair shot at this again. And when I say fair shot, it's only clearly me wanting to put back something into the profession, and having made all those sacrifices that I've made for a long time. But that aside,
Sorry, CJ, can I just offer the advocate some advice? I think because you are a member of the LPC, you have been within your right to go to the provincial office here in Gauteng and say, I've been accused of this. Can you please assist me to investigate this matter? They'll do that, so that we clear your name.
Yeah. Wow. I hear. Thank you for that advice too, Commissioner. And I just lastly wanted to say, sorry, just in case, Chief, just in case.
No, thank you. Okay, just sum it up.
Yes, I am. That because this hearing is in public, and there'll be people watching, there'll be colleagues of mine watching, there'll be that I just want to place on record, because we've spoken about it as a serious allegation, and I don't demean that seriousness, but I don't want anybody thinking that it's anything else other than what was made in subparagraph 2.3, is that I took this lady by her shoulders and brought her forward and kissed her on the lips in front of everybody to say goodbye. It's not anything, and I use the word guardedly. It's nothing else, because somebody listening to this or somebody watching these proceedings might think that that's the case. That having been said, may I ask? I'm going to ask for a brief. Could I have 5 minutes, CJ, to clear my mind and to be alone and then to make a decision in this regard?
Well, Advocate Wanless SC, I appreciate how difficult this is. I think what I'm going to propose, subject of course to the views of my fellow commissioners, is this. Colleagues, I propose that we take a lunch break for 40 minutes, and then allow Advocate Wanless to say what he has to say. No questions, nothing. Once he has said it, we excuse him, and then settle down for deliberations and take the process from there. Can we do it that way, please?
Agreed.
Or do you prefer that?
Yes, TJ.
Is it okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Let's then adjourn until 2:30. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Advocate.
Thank you, CJ.
Unless we'll see you then. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.